Trump administration is looking to put a limit on the amount of time that foreign students can study in the U.S. The Department of Homeland Security is proposing a rule that it says will allow for proper vetting of certain visa holders and prevent visa abuse. The DHS says, quote, for too long, past administrations have allowed foreign students and other visa holders to remain in the U.S. virtually indefinitely, posing safety risks, costing untold amount of taxpayer dollars, and disadvantaging U.S. citizens. This new proposed rule would end that abuse once and for all by limiting the amount of time certain visa holders are allowed to remain in the U.S., easing the burden on the federal government to properly oversee foreign students and their history.
Under this new rule, foreign students would be allowed to stay no longer than 4 years. That's as opposed to the current duration of status system, where they can stay for as long as they are enrolled as a full-time student.
What do you think?
Oh my God, this administration, I don't know what to say, honestly. Well, what we know about the student visa, right? It's not indefinite, actually. Do you get it? It's just after school, people are able to get the 2 years to be able to work, and they're able to get HB1, even though it's a lottery, they're able to get sponsorship, and they remain. Do you know, interestingly, I've met with recent graduates who have done their 2 years, and because they didn't get sponsorship, they left the US while they were still applying for sponsorship, got the sponsorship, and came back. Do you get? And so this idea of, limiting number of people, I'm trying to understand the application of it really in the long term, the application of that, this idea.
I think it's probably more in view of what happened during the Hamas attack on Israel. I think that's probably where all of this is stemming from, where you have a lot of foreign students they are now having to revoke a lot of student visas, that, all the students that were advocating on behalf of Hamas, that's the way the admin interpreted their protest. Not only were they advocating on behalf of Hamas, but, it's been proven that some of them also were involved in violent demonstrations, which is, destruction of property, or even like just harassing the Jewish students. So I think that's where this is stemming from. But I also think it's also a combination of some other factors where a lot of people might not be in favor of immigration, but generally speaking, the United States population are in favor of legal immigration. There are definitely some on the Republican side that are not in favor of immigration. I would say generally speaking. I say probably that is also coming from that side. But having said that, I would say this is all speculation about why they might be doing it. But generally, for students that come to the United States to study, one of the biggest things that they are able to contribute to the U.S. economy is basically the skilled employment that the economy is lacking. Now, there are also debates about how true those numbers are. Say, for example, Microsoft laid off about 10,000 or so, even more in the last few years, but then they are still requiring H-1B visa. So how does that match? You say you are sacking people, but then you now want more H-1B visas.
That thing is always interesting. Every time I see that news or I read it, I'm like, but you fired X number of people just a week ago or just a few days ago, and now you're trying to hire more people. I can never fully understand that strategy, but it is what it is.
Yeah, so as far as that is concerned, at least for what makes logical sense to me and what some right-wing people have said is the reason is simply that they don't want to pay what they should pay people. So they are sacking people so they can hire people they will be able to pay less. From a capitalistic economy point of view, that makes sense because companies want to make more money. So if they can let go of certain people, bring in more people with experience or equivalent experience, and even pay them less, it favors their bottom line. But it doesn't help the country. It doesn't help Americans, which is why some of these laws are against things like this. Well, I would say on the whole, people who come to study here, yes, they come to study to get like some of the best education that they can get in the world, but also they want to be able to contribute to the American economy.
Absolutely.
They stay here for a few years, they love it, they want to remain. And mind you, not everyone even remains. A lot of students also leave because they have
you're correct about that.
Whether they want to go and live in another part of the country or they just want to return to their home country. And one of the biggest losses that I can think of, maybe I won't go into it too much because I don't have the facts here before me. There was one Indian student, I think she studied like something in computer science or computer engineering, but he studied here and he couldn't get a job here. Went back to India and then just started a company. And now the company back in India is a multi-billion-dollar company. It's one of the biggest companies in the world back in India. That's a very big loss for the United States, and of course, a very big gain for India. So that's one of the things that, I think that in general, there's a benefit to having students, especially students in STEM, look for opportunities where they can work or even create businesses or things like that. And then they will be able to continue to remain in the best interest of America, and eventually they'll become citizens and they will go on to contribute to the economy. But basically, I'm in favor of, letting students remain. But, the administration also said that a lot of people do abuse it. But if you pay a lot of money, you think that people are going to be abusing their visa, even though they have paid a lot to be able to come and study in the US. I'm not sure how that works out. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say about it.
Yeah, you made a valid point. After paying so much, American education is pretty expensive. And so after paying so much to be able to come to America to study, I think the idea for many of the students, find, work, build experience. And, and people have also moved to other countries around the world, not just necessarily go back home sometimes. For those who want to be digital nomads and tech nomads, even for that expertise, travel nurses and all that. So whatever is beyond why the administration is doing this to limit how long students will be allowed to stay in the US, we're yet to see the implementation. So hopefully the best will come out of it, but it's yet to be implemented. So fingers crossed.
No, definitely. I wish everyone involved, including the administration and students, look that, the best rule or the best application or the best route that they're going to take is going to be to the best interest of everyone. Yes, and please, if you like our conversation, if you want to get more information, this is strictly to be able to give you the latest information, and also for you to be able to plan for your future. If you're a student, if you're planning to study in the United States, if you're already in the United States and you're studying, this is something that you should consider, and you'll be able to plan.
Yep, putting your application, the sooner the better, the earlier the better, before, changes happen and, delay your processes. All right, have a good one, everyone. Thank you.
Yes. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah. All right, then.